After an 0-4 exhibition season, the Cowboys tomorrow get back to work, and this time they will be preparing for a regular season game. They get Carolina in the opener a week from today, 3:25 on Fox 4. Dallas 9-7 last year, missing the playoffs. Carolina, a playoff team at 11-5, losing to New Orleans in the divisional round. These Cowboys, a young bunch, Witten and Dez, long gone now, of course, but with that youth, just might come some extra excitement to get a new season started.
That excitement started, when we was little kids, when we just get the chance to play football. And, in these preseason games, we've been excited just because we got to get a chance to play together. And now that the regular season starts, it's the same excitement. It's just now that, things count now. So we're going to approach it the same way. I think we've done a great job preparing, and we're just going to lock in a little bit more.
Cowboys center Travis Frederick reportedly will not go on the injured reserve to start the season. Multiple reports saying that he will stay on the active roster, even as he battles a rare nerve disorder that could keep him out a while. Off the roster, though, is kicker Dan Bailey, a stunner. The Cowboys Saturday released Bailey, who battled a groin injury last year but looked good at camp in the preseason. Instead, Dallas keeps 28-year-old journeyman kicker Brett Maher, who did make a 57-yarder in the exhibition loss Thursday night at Houston. Dan Bailey, in 7 seasons, establishing himself as the best kicker in Cowboys history. Most field goals made. Second most accurate kicker in NFL history at over 88% made. Dallas does save $3.4 million against the salary cap by releasing Dan Bailey, who reportedly will work out for the New York Jets tomorrow. Longtime DFW radio host Marc Elfenbein in the open mic. You hear him on ESPN 103.3 FM Sunday morning 7 to 9. Finally, game week for the Cowboys, and they stun everybody by releasing maybe their most reliable player in Dan Bailey. What'd you make of that?
Shocked. Absolutely stunned. I couldn't believe what I was reading on Twitter. And then, you double check your tweets, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, we got to make sure this is correct. And I couldn't quite figure out what Dallas was trying to do here. What kind of message were they sending? The thing that freaked me out, Mike, was not only did the Cowboys say goodbye to Dan Bailey, but Rico Gathers gets caught with marijuana, a block from the star, and they keep him. So I'm not quite sure I understand what Dallas is doing right now.
Maybe he's not the only one at the star smoking marijuana. I don't know. No. Maybe they're freeing up a little money for Earl Thomas, or is that a conspiracy theory that probably doesn't hold water?
Knowing the Cowboys and knowing Jerry and Steven, never let anything slide, because they're figuring, okay, maybe we can work something out, even though Seattle's been telling everybody, we're not trading him, we're not letting him go. No, they're just holding their cards close to their chest right now.
All right. I got out to camp for a short period of time. I know you've been following the team closely in the preseason. Who's a young player, maybe not a young player, who you think will have a breakout season for the Dallas Cowboys in kind of an unexpected way?
Well, a lot of new faces on the team, especially a wide receiver, and we could easily go with one of the young guys, but I'm not going to go with one of the young guys. I'm going to go with Terrence Williams. And I know people go, Terrence Williams, he hasn't done anything yet. Exactly. That's why I think he might break out. He didn't catch many big passes last year, but I have a funny feeling Dak is going to lean on him a little bit more because he's been there, knows a little bit more, and the fact that 88's not here anymore, less pressure on Terrence Williams, I think he might have a chance to break out.
I guess I'm going to be a little more predictable, and you've heard a lot about Michael Gallup, the young receiver, in the preseason, and there's a reason why. I think the kid, he's a really good route runner for a young receiver. I think he's somebody that Dak's going to learn to rely on really early in this season, and I'll be fascinated to see his development. Heard your sock drawer predictions for playoff teams this morning. You like Dallas to make the playoffs.
I just have them getting in as a wild card team, along with the New York Giants, who I think are going to be better. So the Eagles will win the division. I have Dallas and the Giants getting in the wild card, and I just think the NFC is so competitive. I don't think the Packers get in. I know everybody loves Aaron Rodgers and he's got Jimmy Graham, but that's about it. And they're just going to miss by that much, I think.
What worries me about the potential of the playoffs from a Cowboys standpoint is their schedule. And it's hard to know from one season to the next in the NFL which teams are going to be good. But just on paper, you look at their non-division road games. Even starting at Carolina, you got Seattle on the road, Atlanta on the road. They're going to have to win some big games away from home.
If I went by their schedule, I would say that the Cowboys will have a worse record than my Texas Longhorns this year. However, I didn't go by the Cowboys schedule because I kind of figured every year, Mike, in the NFL, you have a team that's going to be good that isn't good, and you have a team that's going to be bad that isn't bad. And I think Dallas is going to maybe take advantage of people thinking they don't have what it takes. And I think they're just going to get in. I think Dak and Zeke are going to carry them a long way.
Let's talk about Jason Garrett just a little bit here. I'd been saying all along that I think he needed to make a deep playoff run to keep his job. Now I'm not so sure, and I'll tell you why. The common thread that I have detected through Jerry Jones' preseason comments has had to do with how young this football team is. This is the youngest team the Cowboys have ever had. Is this a built-in excuse, do you think, for Jason Garrett? Should this team stumble this year? Am I reading too much into that?
No, I mean, it's a great read on your part because it is a young team and it's a perfect excuse for Jerry. But I'm thinking that if it doesn't happen this year, some heads have to roll, and I would think Jason Garrett's has to be close to being lopped off eventually.